Hi, and welcome to Turra Company, the mother-daughter podcast about everything. Our mission is to make herstory, aka history, not by going viral, but by doing something that has never been done before in our family. Whether we have 2 listeners or 2 million listeners, we are bringing you our very best, and hopefully we are learning and growing together in the process. Now let's enter into the Turra Company experience and create herstory, aka history, together. Welcome to Turra Company. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've said that.
Long time no see.
I know. Hey, how's everybody doing?
You're talking to us.
Yeah, I'm talking to y'all. How's everybody doing? You thought I was talking to the company?
I kind of did, actually. Kind of thought you were talking to them.
And I was giving a pregnant pause for them to respond?
Yeah, pregnant pause.
No.
Fun fact, sidebar, that was the reason I didn't like Dora, because that was what got on my nerves.
Dora
the Explorer.
Do you know where the house is?
Oh, because she would be.
It's right there.
I never watched Dora, so I don't know about Dora. So when you're saying that, it doesn't
She
resonate.
just be looking at you like,
just staring you in the face.
Oh, and so you were supposed to talk back to the TV.
You were supposed to yell back.
She was
Did you
trying
do
to
it?
encourage
No.
you to like speak Spanish and like talk to
Oh.
you. So she would be like she'd be like, "Do you know where the flower is?"
And what's funny to me is I used to be like,
Why
it's
you
right
keep
there.
breaking up my pause? I'm trying to do the
Oh, sorry.
pause. No, it's okay. I'm just trying to have the dramatic pause.
Oh, okay. Do it
No,
again.
it's okay. It's okay. They
Do it
get
again.
They get it.
Yeah, the people get it. The company
They
gets
get
it.
it.
If they watch Dora, see, I didn't watch Dora.
Either
so
they were
I didn't even
around-
watch it with you guys.
Honestly, I'm not mad about
Yeah,
that because I
because
didn't
you would
like
be
it.
watching your eyes.
Closed, baby. I used to be napping. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my God. Naps were so important when y'all were little.
That was
Because I didn't get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, and I think that's why I find naps so important now, because I'm like, I need a nap. It's okay to
Naps?
take a nap.
Listen, naps are essential.
They are.
Let's get back to the company. We missed y'all. And I think you guys missed us because guess what? During our long, unplanned, it wasn't even planned, hiatus. And you guys are probably like, well, where were they? What were they doing? We wasn't doing nothing. We was just living life. Like sometimes when you're doing this kind of work, and I'm sure other podcasters that are listening will agree, you have to take a break. And that's where we got to. Ariel was all busy with her man. Yeah, she still got him, y'all. And Chelsea was busy trying to get a man.
Oh, I don't know if that's what Chelsea was doing. Chelsea
wasn't?
was busy working.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's true. Chelsea.
I outed you the wrong
Right,
way.
Yeah, don't make me out here.
But you
sounding
are
like-
looking for somebody.
right. But that's what I
I just want
wasn't
the
busy
listeners to
doing
know.
it.
You never know who's listening. So I just
Right.
wanted to put that out there
Yeah.
that Chelsea's still on the market.
Yeah. Okay.
She's had a couple of dates, but she's still on the market.
Yeah.
Ariel's still on the market to me as far as I'm concerned because she's not married.
Don't say that.
I mean, you're not married. Once if you're not married, you still on the market.
Think about
Until
it.
they
When
put
you
a
fill
ring
out
on
a
it.
W-2, what does it say? Single, married, widow. It don't say single, dating, married. It say single or married.
That right there, what she just said. So while you're involved, I get it. It's committed. But until he puts a ring on it and says I do, because even the ring don't make it a fit. Okay, back. Let's focus. So anyway, company, we weren't like gone. Nothing like big happened in our lives. We just was living life. We took a life break, basically, and we said we were going to come back so many times. Like we were supposed to come back, I think in, I don't know, July. We were supposed to come back in October. But guess what? So many things were happening. It was my 30th wedding anniversary. I went to Cabo in September of 2024. And then as a family in November for Thanksgiving, we went to, where did we go? Dominican Republic. So we just been traveling. I went to Miami in July. I just been traveling. So when you're doing a lot of stuff, it's just not a lot of time to podcast. But we're back. And you know what? We were kind of evaluating, like, should we still do it? How do we want to do it? Like, and people were like, I was surprised that people were asking me, like, genuinely asking me, when is the show going to start back up? So I was like, oh, so they're concerned. So that was good. Did anybody ask you guys that?
No.
Okay. That's okay.
No one asked me. Actually, that's not true. John asked me because he needs to plan. He plans his schedule a little bit around our recording schedule.
Yeah.
So he was like asking me.
Oh,
like,
so he
about
wasn't asking an interest of hearing the show. He was asking for your schedule.
Respectfully, I like like he can listen to the episodes after we got together.
But you know what's so funny? I think because his family is in that type of business where they vlog, that he gets it.
Yeah.
You know, because his parents vlog, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me they vlog?
Yeah.
So yeah. So I was like, dang, everybody's so busy. And it's always hard when you're doing a multi-person podcast because everybody needs to be available. And so we just weren't linking up. So that's kind of the reason too. But that's okay because we got a break. And I am so excited because during the break, we hit some historical download amounts for us. We had at one time we hit like 250 in 1 week. We hit 91. And this is when we had been on break for months. So I was excited for that. And I'm excited for what 2025 is going to bring. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Woo.
It is the new year. We don't have that sound, so we got to make it.
Yeah.
With
I'm
our
over
voice.
it. Like that Curb Your Enthusiasm after the third day.
You over-
You saying Happy New Year.
Oh. But they
I know.
haven't heard
I know.
us say it.
I know.
I feel
I'm just
What
saying,
is happening with
this is-
Krabby Patty over here?
I'm just saying after this, I will no longer be saying Happy New Year.
Oh, right.
We almost a week into the new year. You get it. You know.
I think it depends on who. First, for me, it depends on who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
'Cause
Same.
if I haven't seen, like, if it's been, like, if I saw you around the holidays
Mhm.
and then I see you within, like, the first maybe, like, 3 weeks of the new year, then I'll say Happy New Year.
Yeah.
But after January, it's over. It's done. It's done.
And because we just don't have such a large audience, we also work, right?
Yeah.
So that's a factor. Like when work is stressing, the last thing I'm thinking about is doing this podcast because my brain be bogged down.
The last thing I want to do is talk to anybody, period.
Right.
That's,
So that's the thing. So listeners, tell your friends, tell everybody you know that listen to this podcast so we can blow up and then we can quit our day jobs and then we can bring y'all this podcast regularly. Anyway, I thought that was funny. So anyway, that leads me into a couple of things, couple of housekeeping updates. So we've decided that we are not going to publish an episode every week. What we're going to do is we are going to do every other Monday. So we've always we changed it to Monday and now we're going to do every other Monday. I think that'll be better because that'll be 2 episodes a month. I might throw some Turra talks in there every once in a while. But it'll be 2 episodes a month. Of course, we'll be announcing the episodes on our social media. So make sure you're following us on Instagram. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Turra and Company, and then you'll get the updates but it's going to be every other Monday. So once you listen to this episode, every other Monday, there'll be a new one and you'll know. That's the first thing we're going to do. So every other Monday, don't forget, that's our new schedule. We're only going to do 2 episodes a month. I mean, unless we blow up, but 2 episodes a month, that's good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think that's good for our working schedule.
I agree.
You think so?
Yeah.
What is happening with your headset?
It's hurting my ear.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the bonnet. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm
y'all,
good.
these are the sidebars. If we have video, you guys will see it. But once again, we are a videoless,
I like, honestly,
traditional
podcast. I like it
That's
that way.
traditional because this is traditional.
Yeah.
That video stuff, hate to sound old fogey-ish, but
My favorite podcast that I keep talking about and will always talk about, The
Mhm.
Read. They've been going on almost 12 years now, and they have never done video.
and it's okay.
yeah,
Don't
and
judge us.
and I
Don't judge anybody that does it their way and still makes it.
My thought process about it is, I would like to be able. I personally listen to podcasts while I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to be looking at your video
Exactly.
and doing what I'm doing. But I mean,
And the
hey.
voices, we have good voices, so we're good. So anyway, that's an update. Another update I want to give you guys is, did you know you could text us? Company. You can send us a text. You can say, hey, Turra. You can say, hey, Ariel. You can say, hey, Chelsea. Love that episode. Or you can say, hey, what you guys should do. We're open to all feedback because feedback is a gift. Just don't be nasty with it. If you're nasty, you're going to get blocked. If you're nasty, you're not going to be able to send us messages. But anyway, you can send us fan mail. It's called fan mail, and it's going to be in our show notes. So check out our show notes wherever you listen to your podcast, and there'll be a link. You click the link, and then you'll be able to send us a note. It comes through to us like a text, and we get to interact with you. So I think it's a good idea. Somebody try it out. I'm happy for anybody to try it out. But we do get messages from time to time, so I think somebody will try it out. So anyway, let's get into the show. What's today's show about? New you, new year, new you. Right, because I'm like, what is happening? I am so excited about being a new me.
I mean, that's valid.
I don't know. I'm tired of new year, new me.
You are?
Sometimes I just
I
want to
haven't done a new me. So maybe this year you'll be new year, just new year.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of how I was yesterday. Yeah, that's how I was last year. But this year, I want to be new.
Becoming a new me. I'm tired of it. I want to take a break.
Okay.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Taking a break.
That's valid. Honestly, that's valid because I feel like a lot of why people get annoyed with hearing people say new year, new me is because they end up saying new year, new me, and then it'd be the same person.
Well, and then you just hyper fixate on it. I'm just a believer in that, the person who you are is okay. No matter now I do think growth
absolutely
is good.
Agree.
Now, absolutely growing and evolving as a person is good. But it's almost like it's my little conspiracy theory where I feel like the reason why it's become this big thing is because of consumerism. Well, because what do you do at the beginning of the year? You're like, oh my God, I'm going to get my life together.
To the gym.
So what do? You get a gym membership.
Yep.
You go to the store and you buy a planner. Or like me, you get like a digital planner. You go on Etsy and you start buying all these digital downloads of how you're like, I'm going to get my life together. I'm going to organize my life. And then you do it for what, 2 days? And then now you didn't bought this $30 planner that you touched once, and now that you're not
or
doing
you touched it the month of January.
The month of January? And then February and the whole rest
you're
of the
like,
year.
I'm over it.
You're done?
Tired of writing. My hands got cramps.
Right. So it's just things like that where I'm just like, I don't want to.
So you're not going to be you're just going to be Chelsea this year.
I'm just going to be Chelsea
and live life.
Same old 27-year-old Chelsea. I'm a year older now. I'm just gonna
Happy birthday, by the way. Chelsea's birthday was just a couple of weeks ago. Remember, she's a Christmas baby, y'all. She's December 26th. So if you want to send her something,
please
you can.
Listen.
Cash App. All of our stuff is linked in our show notes.
We got it. We got it all. Just go ahead and send me an
Go ahead and send her.
I'll take it.
I think our link, we have a Cash App and it's all listed, but what links in our bio or in our show notes is buy me a coffee. So buy Chelsea a coffee. She loves Dutch Bros. That is her fave. So anyway, so no new you.
I don't think so.
You tired?
I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to evolve and
that's fair.
I'm not a Pokemon.
And that's fair, but sometimes, like me, I ended the year with some things that I was disenchanted about. So when you end the year, I think disenchanted, I think that motivates you to try to do a new you because you're like, and these are totally things, the things I was disenchanted with are totally things that I can change. So for me, I'm going into 2025 as new year, new me, because there's just some things that I just been feeling like I have been settling on, if that makes sense. Like I'm one of those people, I just don't like to settle. I like to be happy, and I believe that if you're not happy, you can find your happy. Like some people are not happy and they sit in it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm that type of person. If I'm not happy in a place, that's why you got to be careful. Neil needs to be careful. Because if I'm not happy, I will move. I will not stay in something that doesn't fulfill me. I've always been that way. Call it a runner, call it whatever you want to call it. But I need to be happy. Now, am I going to be happy every moment, every minute of every day? Absolutely not. There's some times where you're just going to be, downtrodden with it or just disenchanted with it, like I was, right? So when you get that way, you just need to evaluate, is it something I'm bringing to this table that's disenchanting, or is it something that I need to move to? Sometimes it's just you need to settle down, right?
Yeah.
When you agree. So like I said, I ended 2024 disenchanted. I was meditating a lot on what would fulfill me. So I'm 53. I just turned 53 this year in July. About to be 54 this next July. And it's like,
you said that wrong. You turned 53 last July. Now this July you're going to be.
Oh, what did I say?
54.
I thought
no.
What did I say?
We are in 2025.
Yeah.
So in 2025 you were turning 54.
Yeah.
You made it the way you worded it. You made it sound like that next July.
Well, it is next July. What are you talking?
To me, I hear next July and I'm thinking 2026 July because we're in
No.
the year.
July
Next
is the
July.
next coming July.
No.
The next July that is on its. What are we in? Like June? Like we're in.
No, what are we in July?
No.
If we were in July.
I disagree.
Yeah, because that's not. She said it right, because that's why I'm looking at you crazy.
Right,
because
I was
what are
like,
you
wait a
talking
minute.
about right now?
I was all like rewinding it in my brain, like,
Or you could say this upcoming July. Say that then. Don't say next July.
but it
Because
is
the next July is in 2025. I'm so confused. I feel like I'm being punked because what are you talking about right now?
Chelsea, like, what is happening? The only way that I
I
would
disagree.
Okay.
You can't disagree with how English language works. That's not.
Wait a minute. You can't disagree how the calendar works.
No, literally. Because what are you talking about
It's
right now?
okay,
Saying next July.
okay. Saying next July in January is perfectly apropos.
No.
Yes, it is.
I hear next July, and I think July of 2026.
Well, why are you thinking
wrong.
like that?
That's
You
wrong.
skipped
I'm
the
so
whole
sorry.
July.
No.
But you've skipped July 2025.
Then say this July, because that is talking about this year.
Anyway,
I cannot with you. Like, what is happening? Anyway,
moving on.
for those of you who think like Chelsea,
This July.
I don't even remember what the heck I was
You were
saying.
talking
now.
about-
I know what I was saying. So anyway, as you get older, you just I think you evaluate things because you're getting closer to the end than you are to the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to be morbid. That's just real talk. So you start thinking like, did I do or have I done all the things I want to do? Like I just saw a TikTok of what did I send y'all? Emirates? What is it? Emirates?
Oh yeah, the fancy
airline?
fancy art. Yes.
That has the business class that they serve you Dom Perignon all throughout the flight. I mean, I was like, okay, bucket. And I don't even want to call it a bucket list. I want to call it my life list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be my rich life because I'm also reading this book that is Your Rich Life. And so in this book, it kind of tells you everybody has their own ideal of a rich life. And what's yours. And it doesn't mean that you have millions of dollars. It's just, what do you want to do with what you have?
I think that's a problem. Not necessarily a problem, but that's a thing that I've noticed is that people a lot of times will be like, oh, I want it, like they'll want to be rich. And to them, that means like, oh, I want to have millions and billions and trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just like, one, that's not how money works because the economic part of my brain kicks in. And two, having a lot of money, from what it looks like, it seems to me, it doesn't seem like it's as fun as people make it seem. There are even studies that show like the more money you make, the less happy you are.
I believe
Never
that.
me. That would never be me.
That would never be
That's
you.
Capricorn.
That would never be me. Literally. That
I
would
mean,
never
I
be
get
me.
that because I think a lot of people who don't have a lot of money think, hey, if I just had money, all my problems will be solved. But guess what? If you have money and your health is not good,
What are you using the money on? You should be using the money for, your
let me
health.
just say this. Spiritual time. God doesn't give you money for you. He gives you money to bless others. So if you ever if he stewards you with a lot of money, his expectation of you with the money is, yes, he expects you to live because you got to put your own mask on like on the airplane. You got to put your mask on first. But you can't just live for you and hoard all the money. You need to have the money and you need to give some of the money.
Yeah.
You need to bless others. And if you're not thinking about doing that, you're never going to be rich. And you can be rich right now. You are rich. I am. That's how I can talk about it. I am rich. I claim that for all of our lives. We are all rich. And it starts in the brain. I always tell you guys, poor is in the brain. When I see people who don't have a lot of, and I'm going to say things, and just because you don't have a lot of things doesn't even mean you're poor. But poor where you can't pay your bills. Why are you making bills? Right? This is the thing. I see people, and this is not where I was trying to go with this. We're going to get on this and we're going to get off of it. I see people sometimes that they will have a job or have an income, because not everybody works a job 9 to 5, but they'll have an income and they know that income doesn't fit their lifestyle, but yet they'll stay at that thing. Why would you do that? If you want to go to Cancun and you can't go to Cancun, but you have this job that is not allowing you to go and do what you want to do and afford the things that you want to afford, then you need to elevate that, right? Either through a side gig, a second gig, something. That's a hustle, right?
Yeah.
You don't stay set in the same thing knowing you want more. Now, if you work that job and it satisfies you and you're doing all the things you want to do, then you stay there. But if you got a job that is entry level that you still at and you're not entry level, then you need to move. I believe in that.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that leads into what I'm thinking for 2025.
Are you going to be a new you, or are you like Chelsea?
I think I'm going to be a new me, but I don't think it's not one of those things where it's going to start and end in 2025.
Oh, absolutely. But you are of the mindset of new year, new you.
Yeah, I'm of the mindset, because I hate to say this out loud, but I'm going to have to. I'm hitting 30.
You are.
I'm hitting 30.
Love it.
I do.
To be 30 again.
And like, there's a part of me that's kind of like excited, I guess, to be 30 at this point.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of just like, I feel like now I'm at a place mentally where I'm kind of just like, I think I'm ready to do the things that I want to do. Because like, one of the things that I feel like a lot of people experience in their 20s is you're kind of not necessarily up a creek, but you're kind of just thrown into life and being like, well, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Well, now
actually, fun fact, that's in psychology. They say teen to 20s, you are in the not the FAFO stage, but you're in the find out stage. You're finding out who you want to be, what you want to be. And then you go into probably what you're about to say.
Right. And I'm at the stage right now where I'm like, okay, I know what kind of person I am. Mm-hmm. I know what kind of person I want to be. I know what kind of things I want.
Yeah.
Now I just got to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And now is the part where I'm not necessarily like finding out how to get there. Now is the point where, because that's how you spend your life, right?
Yeah.
You have the things you want. You figure out how you get them.
Yeah.
Now is the execution of how do I get there, essentially.
Yes, if you're lucky. So we're saying that like it's innate. Mm-hmm. Not everybody has that. And that's what this show is all about. It's talking about and providing other ideas. Because although we sit around and talk about that and like that as a family, not everybody does that. So some people don't know that they can think of something, set a goal of something, and become something.
What is it?
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is funny, and it's funny that we're having this conversation and Chelsea's saying like she's not
doing the new year, new me.
Yeah. But I think it's because she's kind of already gone through a little bit of that.
Yeah.
With her esthetician schooling journey.
And sometimes you just take some years, you just don't feel like you need to work on anything that year. You just feel like I'm coasting, I'm good. Because like I said, 2024 was like that for me. I didn't feel like I needed to change anything. But now in 2025, I'm ready to flip a table over.
That's usually out of anger. That's usually where that phrase comes from, just so you know.
I know, but in the way I'm saying it right now, in my own life, I'm ready to flip a table over and be authentically me, right? which I always am, but I kind of been letting it slide a little bit. But I'm going to be authentically me, and I'm going to go for the things that I want in life.
Mm-hmm.
All over the board, from A to Z. I'm just going for it. I'm hitting it. I believe 2025 is going to be my year.
Valid.
But what were you saying, though?
Is that I'm at a point where there are things in my life that I want to change.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing them for a while and I thought that they made me happy. But the more I'm doing them, the more I'm realizing it's not what I want.
So fair.
It's not what I want. And I know that in order to get to a place where I feel good, it's not going to take a full calendar year. It's going to take maybe 3 to 5. And that's the number that's like sticking out in my head. And that's the number that I'm sticking to, of 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and it just depends on how much hustle you put towards it.
Yeah.
More hustle, less time.
Yeah.
Less hustle. Because sometimes you get to a point, not you, just as humans, we get to a point where we start up the engine and the engine gets tired, and then you get discouraged. Kind of like what we was doing with the podcast as far as not recording, because it felt good not to record, right?
A little bit.
It felt good.
Little bit.
It felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It felt good because I edit the show. I do all these things. And it felt good to not have that responsibility. But I thought, something kept creeping up in my mind. Because I'm on TikTok, and as you guys are, and I see people do one thing that changes their whole trajectory, right? And I said, Turra, what if you get back on the mic and one of the shows that you do changes the trajectory of all of our lives? And I just kept feeling that in my spirit, right? Like 2025 is the year for your podcast. So let's get back to it. We altered some things to make it fit into our life that is now. I don't mean to cut you up, but I heard this story. It was so crazy. It was because Buzzsprout, which is who hosts our podcast and gets it out to all the different directories. I saw this lady, she was doing an interview on there, and she said that she does a sleepy time podcast where she basically just reads stories. She started this for her children. And she said she started getting about a year or two in, she started getting where she was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. I don't even think people are listening. She took a break. She said she wasn't even going to do it anymore. And all of a sudden, she started getting 10, 20, 30,000 downloads while she was on this break. And she was like, wait a minute, I need to go back. And she said she went back, and now she's like in the very top tier of podcasts. And I said, wow, you just never know what can happen. So I was like, we're not going to quit it. And we weren't thinking about quitting it, but it just was taking us a bit of time to get our motivation up to come back to it, We weren't putting it first, I don't think. In my opinion, I don't think we were putting it first.
Yeah.
So now we're back and we're good. But yeah, Ariel, I totally get that. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say about that?
Not really. That was kind of like the general gist of how I'm feeling for the year of 2025, of me just wanting to be like, kind of like moving on in my life and moving forward, because
just being happy and satisfied,
and doing the things that I want to do, having the things that I want to have, and having the people around me that I want to have.
Absolutely.
So,
and for me, it's like, I feel like this. I feel like in 2024, for whatever reason, I took a beating from people because I was trying to do this thing and it just doesn't work for me. I'm just going to be honest. Maybe it works for other people. I'm sure it does. But like, I'm the type of person, if you say something crazy to me, I want to get you right where you are. I think I've said this before. But for some reason in 2024, things were happening to me. People were saying stuff to me and I was like, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. That's okay. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to be the bigger person. I wasn't, I'm never... Even every time we had that show, I always say I'm not. But for 2024, for some reason, I was being that person. And it was taking chunks out of me because I'm like, wait a minute. No, you need to get them people where they standing. So it was funny. A couple of weeks ago, somebody had said something to me and I didn't like it. And I was like, okay, I'm about to tell you who I am. And I wasn't nasty about it. I didn't even raise my voice, but I just said, hey, we're not going to do that. Because quiet as kept, I am the ish.
You're that girl.
I am that girl. And you're not going to treat me like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I'm walking into 2025. I'm that girl. And you're not going to treat me like that's for everybody.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go. And I kind of was losing that because things were happening. And, sometimes you lose friends or you lose certain things in your life. And it starts making you think, well, maybe I'm too harsh or maybe I'm too this or maybe. And it starts making you kind of backtrack yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't you. Every time you lose a friend, it ain't usually you. It ain't always you. Sometimes it's just those people weren't meant to be there.
They served their purpose.
They served their purpose. And it doesn't mean that because they're not there anymore that you need to change. I have always been authentically me. And it has always worked for who it works for. Now, if you jealous of what you see, I was watching this TikTok about frequency. Have you guys seen anything about frequencies? People on high frequencies?
No.
I know what you're talking about, and I'm not. I have an unpopular opinion about those kinds of conversations.
Yeah,
but.
So I don't. I think that I operate on a high frequency, and I think because I operate on a high frequency, meaning I discern a lot, meaning I can read a room, meaning when I come in the room, I can light it up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there, I can light it up.
And I agree with you. My controversial opinion is just that I feel like a lot of the people who have to say that they operate on a high frequency because you don't say that you operate on a high frequency.
I just said it now for the listeners.
Right. For the context of this conversation. But I don't think having a high frequency, because a lot of times the context that I will see is people trying to teach you how to operate on a high frequency.
Yeah, it can't be taught. Right. This is something that's innate. I was born this way.
Right. That's the thing. I don't think you can learn how to be on a high frequency.
So that's not unpopular opinion. That's true, baby. That's true. Either you are born high frequency or you're not. And I think the people who are low frequency, those are the ones that look at your high frequency and they go, it drives them nuts. Because they like, why don't I have it? I want that. Jealousy to me makes you act out of character. I believe, and this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm going to get on it for 2 seconds. I'm going to come up off of it. I believe a lot of racism is jealousy.
That I don't even think that's I'm pretty sure that's a fact. And the only reason I say that is because, like, if you look at everything that's done, like, in the olden days and even now, to, like...
You said the olden days.
The olden days and even now.
In the past?
Yeah. Everything that's...
The good old olden days.
Right. The things that were done, the racist things that were done in the past, and the racist things that are done now, they're because you see this group of people that has something that you don't have.
You don't have. You can't even get it.
You can't get it, and you think you want it.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, I don't have this thing.
Yeah.
Therefore, this is bad. I'm going to try to hold it down.
Yeah.
Like, that's the quintessential.
Because if you hold it down, it's not as good and you seem better.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's racism is essentially just tricking yourself into thinking, oh, I'm better than this person for this reason that I can't really control, that has nothing to do with me. That's outside of literally outside of my control.
Yeah, which is jealousy.
Yeah.
Like it's jealousy on such a large, high scale. And if people would just combat that, is jealousy an emotion?
I mean, if you ask the people of Disney, yes.
Oh, from that
movie Inside Out, which is such a good movie. If
it's an emotion. So if people would just work on that emotion and deal with that and say, why do I hate that so much? Because usually when you hate a person, if you really delve into it, a lot of times it could be. I ain't saying all the time, but a lot of times if you just walked into the person's space and you just felt like you didn't like them or you just felt like you hated them, a lot of times that's because of jealousy. And you need to sort that out. Yeah. You need to say, what about them is stirring up this in me? And I bet you $5 when you get to digging, you're going to be like, I'm jealous of that. And once you say that out loud, that's how you work on it, because you start going like, well, why am I jealous? I can have that same thing. You know what I'm saying? Usually there's something that you're jealous of, you can have that same thing, unless it's the high frequency.
You can have parts of the high frequency. Like you could have a fun personality.
Get self-aware.
You can have parts of it, but the actual like innateness of it, that can't be taught.
And you need to find out what's in me that's great. Because when you start focusing on you, you don't have time to look at the other person. I don't have time to look at other people because I'm focusing on my greatness. Mm-hmm. I'm focusing on I'm doing this. What in me is valuable? Think about that. Pregnant pause. What in me? Why Ariel keep laughing about pregnant pause?
Because
it's actually a thing in public speaking.
I know, but it's the fact that you announced the pregnant pause before you did.
Because I wanted everybody to know what it was. I didn't want them to think my editing was off.
Okay.
But anyway, if you find out what is valuable about you, everybody has something. You start digging into that. You're like, what is it, Chelsea? I am the ish.
You're that girl.
Yeah. Okay, let's try that again.
You threw me off with the I am the.
Because I thought you said last time I was like, I am, and you was like the ish. But you said that girl.
You said that.
I'm the ish.
And then I said that you're that girl.
So you're that girl. You're that boy. And you got to start thinking, what makes me that girl? What makes me that boy? What makes me a baddie? Right? Because we're baddies.
Absolutely. We are.
You are baddie. That's why you don't have any new yous this year, because you're a baddie. We missed y'all company. We back on the mic. Let's just do a little quick reminder. You can send us a text through our fan mail. It's it's linked in our show notes. You can also follow us. If you're not, follow us on all our platforms: Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok, but we don't post a lot of videos because we don't do video anymore. But we're there. But if you want to follow us, just do it. Just do it. So anyway, we are back. We are every other Monday. And y'all got anything else to say before we wrap it up?
Nope.
We will see you on the next episode.
Okay, adios. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. We look forward to you joining us on the next episode. Until then, be inspired and enlightened.